Today I will be discussing about linear equations and the four faces of a function. In this video, I am going to explain how to use the four faces to solve a real-world problem. The four faces of a function are represented in the acronym growth. The G stands for graph, the R is for the rule or equation, the W stands for the words or the original problem, and the T stands for table. Here's an example we can use to use the growth technique. Bob has a girlfriend and wants to get her something special for $100. He currently has $40 saved. If he earns $4 a day, how many days does he have to save to reach $100? Here we are already given the words and or the original problem, which is known as W. Next, we need to figure out the rest of the faces to completely solve the equation, which is the table, graph, and the rule or equation. Let's take this step by step. First, we make a table. We make a table so we can get a good picture of how much he makes with each day passing by. On the X column, start at 0 to represent the many number of days that has passed by, which is 5. Now, for the Y column, we need to put how much money he saved. The words show us that he already has $40 saved, so we put 40 next to 0. Next, the words tell us that he earns $4 every day, so on the Y column, keep adding 4 to the previous number until you reach 5 days, which should give you $60. The next step is to make a graph. The x-axis represents how many days he has saved money so far. So label it days and number until 5. Next, the y-axis represents how much money he has saved. So label it money and number off until 60, which is the amount he has at the end of 5 days. Now that the graph is set up, just plot your points from the XY table onto the graph. When you are done, your graph should look like this. Remember, at day 0, he already has $40, so we plot 0.40 at the beginning. After constructing a graph, we need to come up with an equation. Since this is a linear equation, we use the slope-intercept form. Let's start off figuring out B because it's the easiest for this example. Look at the graph and identify where the line touches the y-axis. As you can see, the line is touching 40 on the graph, so we have identified B and now put it into our equation. That should look like this so far. Y equals mx plus 40. Now to solve for m, or slope, we can keep on looking at the graph. Remember, slope is rise over run. Let's use the points 0, 40 and 1, 44 to figure out what the slope is. From those 2 points only, let's count how many spaces we have to go up in order to get to the other point. The rise we should have gotten is 4. Now let's figure out how many spaces it goes over. The run that should have gotten was 1. Put these in for the rise over 1 and you should get 4 over 1, or also known as just 4. Now plug everything in to complete the equation, which should look like y equals 4x plus 40. Now that we have figured out the equation, we can answer the question that is in the problem. How many days does Bob have to save to reach $100? The next step is to answer the question. This is the easiest step when you have your equation done. To solve how many days, you plug in what the problem gave you into the equation. Y equals 100 because it is the total amount of money saved. The equation should be set up as 100 equals 40x plus 40. Once you have this, it should be fairly simple. Subtract 40 from both sides, and you are left with 60 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4, and you should end up with 15. 15 is the number of days he needs to save in order to reach $100. Thanks for watching this video on how to use the four faces of a function to solve a real-world problem for linear equations. Hope it helped, and good luck with the work based on this content. Remember, growth.